I was never the likeliest candidate for this office. We didn't start with much money or many endorsements. Our campaign was not hatched in the halls of Washington. It was built by working men and women who dug into what little savings they had to give $5 and $10 and $20 to the cause. It drew strength from the young people who rejected the myth of their generation's apathy, who left their homes and their families for jobs that offered little pay and less sleep. It drew strength from the not-so-young people who braved the bitter cold and scorching heat to knock on doors of perfect strangers, and from the millions of Americans who volunteered and organized and proved that more than 2 centuries later, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people has not perished from the earth. This is your victory.
Change is here. 102.3, Radio Free, KJLH.
You can handle it. I know you can handle it. I got Tammi Mack that's stepping up between 7 and 11. She's going to keep this party going. Tell me, what are you hearing out there? What are some of your feelings about what's happening right now?
Oh, man. A lot of people, I know on my way in from the Valley, a lot of people were still holding up the Proposition 8 signs.
Okay.
So Prop 8
is huge.
Prop 8 is going to be a big one, a big, big, big one, depending on which way you go.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
Yes. I wanted to say that. Which way your friends go?
So that's.
Well,
I
you
think
guys
that's
are
be
you
big,
guys
really
are
big for
actresses, so
California.
hey.
I think that's going to be really big for California because the state of California usually dictates a lot of the way that other states go.
Do you feel?
And so we're big.
Do you feel this whole definition of marriage, in your opinion, because you guys are in the acting community, okay? And well, what I'm saying, there's all types of groups within the artistic field. So you come in contact with different types of groups. You come in contact with the gay community. You come in contact with the straight community.
Yes, indeed.
Do you feel that the definition of marriage is about sexuality or about discrimination? Tammi.
Sexuality or discrimination?
Yes. Is it about sexuality or is it about discrimination?
I think when you put things in the context of the Constitution, it definitely has a different meaning. I think if you are a religious person and you're biblical and that's the way you live your life, it's certainly going to dictate your vision for what you see marriage as. And on the other end, if you're more political, you're probably going to look at things from a constitutional standpoint, which then plays to discrimination.
Okay, what do you say?
And then I guess it comes down to personal preference and what you've been around and raised around. My great uncle, when he passed away, a really good friend of my grandmother's, he was quarantined.
Right.
Well, before in 1981, it was AIDS. He was a gay man way back then. So my exposure to homosexuals was around me all the time. And then I got into the arts and so forth. So I feel like love is love. Partners are partners. If people have been together as long as a lot of these people have been, they have a right to want to take care of one another medically and want to have those rights. So I believe that they should have those rights.
Okay,
and I don't necessarily believe it is a definition of marriage.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I think it's two different things.
To a certain point, yeah.
I think it's two different things.
Because that's why I asked you guys, is this the definition of marriage, which is Prop 8, which is another heated race.
Right.
That's why I said, was it about sexuality?
But if leading to the definition of marriage leads to discrimination, I don't agree.
Okay.
Well, and constitutionally, it's supposed to be a separation between church and state.
How about that?
That's where a lot of people have you. It's very difficult if you are a Christian. It's very difficult to separate your belief and what you stand for from something that's constitutionally
and governmentally mandated.
Yeah,
right.
it's very difficult to do that. I totally get that both ways.